Welcome back to Round the Block, the official podcast of the Tacoma-Pierce County Association of Realtors. This episode is sponsored by Sterling Inspection Group, a trusted local partner providing comprehensive home inspections across Pierce, King, and Thurston counties. Thank you to Sterling Inspection Group for supporting this conversation and for their continued service to our real estate community. Today, I know I'm always the fangirl, but I have the pleasure of interviewing someone who brings a fresh, innovative perspective to what it means to be a real estate professional in today's market. Marguerite Martin is a realtor. She's with Windermere Professional Partners, and she's the creator of Move to Tacoma's website and podcast. She's a national speaker, coach, and trainer, and she's known for helping agents identify their true voice, clarify their unique identity, and build a business rooted in authenticity and expertise. She also doesn't, like when people talk so much about her, about these things, but I'm going to keep going.
Talk about me.
I know. She runs a non-traditional real estate model that is 100% referral-based. She's no longer transacting and directly instead focuses on connecting clients with the best agents for their specific needs. She's got an insightful perspective on the market, the direction of the industry, and opportunities realtors have right now to build more intentional and sustainable businesses. In today's conversation, we're going to dig into what she's currently working on, what agents should be thinking about during this crucial business planning season, where she sees the industry heading and what excites her, and also what concerns her, and what would instantly change if she could wave a magic wand. If we have time, we'll get to the magic wand and all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Welcome, Marguerite.
Thank you. This all sounds so good.
Thank you. And you're back in Tacoma now.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I loved your, did you take that picture this morning of Mount Rainier?
I did. I take a lot of pictures now. I'm becoming one of those cliche, I have a mountain view, I'm going to take a picture of it every day kind of people.
That was a flawless image.
Thank you.
If people want to follow you online, where can they find you on Instagram?
Obviously at Move to Tacoma or Marguerite Martin Official, which is harder to spell, but one will point you to the other.
Find you. Yes, you're very good at that. Well, let's just dive right in. You have such a unique niche in our industry, 100% referral-based, message-driven, deeply community-rooted. For those who aren't familiar with your work beyond Move to Tacoma, how do you describe what you're doing right now in the real estate ecosystem?
Well, I mean, I have kind of a few different jobs, and the main job has been and continues to be movetotacoma.com, and that is where clients, my full-time job as a realtor is to prospect now because I don't do the transaction. The agents that I refer clients to do that hard part, and I take the finder's fee. So my job is to build trust with the community and build trust with my ideal clients so that they reach out to me and I can learn what they want and find them the perfect realtor for them. That's my main job. But then, of course, working with brokerages, doing trainings for agents, working with agents directly, helping them do their business planning and marketing planning. And there's kind of a few different lanes that I'm running in right now.
So you're not detached from the industry?
No. And in fact, what I've discovered when it comes to consulting, I think I had, like many agents, a fantasy that I would get out of the real estate part and just get to do the selling stuff to realtors part. But for me, the credibility that I have with agents and with brokerages has always come from being able to run a successful business and keep my saw sharp in that area. So it's hard to imagine putting it down at this point. Absolutely. We'll see. But I feel like I kind of need that part. And it's also, it's also the part that makes the most money. I hope that's okay to say.
We're all here. We are all small business owners for the most part that listen to the podcast. So
real estate is...
That conversation has to happen. We are in it to make money. So
absolutely.
Nobody comes to work for free. You work with agents all over the country on identity, messaging, and becoming the go-to expert in a specific lane. Mm-hmm. What patterns are you seeing right now among agents who are succeeding versus those who are struggling?
Well, my success has always been because I defined a narrow niche and I've stuck to it. And my niche is obviously people relocating to Tacoma, Washington. In fact, buyers obviously relocating to Tacoma, Washington. And that 10 years ago, when I started the website, was a pretty narrow niche. It's not narrow enough now. There are so many people that are trying to go after that niche. I've had to narrow and sub-narrow even further, right? And the biggest mistake that I see agents making right now is that even people who maybe had a little bit of a niche going when times were good, as soon as the market volume reduced, I think our total market volume's down like 40% from 21 or something, right? Like we're dealing with a smaller pie. The agents get scared and they de-niche. And that is, especially if you're online, it's the biggest mistake you can make. I wouldn't even call the website Move to Tacoma if I started it in 2026. Like, it's too broad. You've got to get to North Tacoma, South Tacoma. You've got to get smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of want to dig into that a little bit more because I know that when you're working with agents, I've heard this, I've been on the receiving end of this question. Who's your ideal client? So I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of being able to identify that ideal client and then figuring out what your niche is. Can you dive a little deeper into that?
Let me come at this from the client's perspective, right? And this is just like philosophically, not everybody agrees with me on this, but philosophically, I believe that every client deserves to work with an expert. They deserve to work with somebody who knows what they're doing and can do a really good job for them. There is a geographic limit that we all have. Even if you'll go all through Washington State, your licensure ends at a certain point, right? But we should have, cultivated expertise in an area once we've been realtors for 3, 4, 5 years, right? And clients deserve to work with people who aren't doing this thing for the first time. And then, agents do better because clients are sort of socialized to see us as commodities. They think we're all the same. And if we could do a better job of explaining what sets us apart and where we tend to go when we have this conversation is like, you need to be more professional. You need to tell people that you're the number one agent, or you're the most professional agent, or you're the born and raised agent. And none of these things actually set you apart.
And I was going to ask, because you deal with the consumer, do they care about that? Or what is it that they're asking for?
I think this is the sad part. And we know once you become a licensed agent, you know that actually not everybody is professional, right? Not everybody is an expert. Not everybody knows what they're talking about, right? And also, we all define those kinds of things separately. It's all very fluffy. But the clients, they just assume you have a license, you're a professional, you know what you're doing, you have expertise. They assume we have all these things. So when you're stating those things on your profile, they're just kind of glazing over.
So you're basically stating the obvious.
The obvious to them. And while we know it might not be a given, they're already expecting it. So we can't just give them more of what they're already expecting.
Yeah. Let's go into, from a broker's perspective, in your coaching, what topics are people bringing up most often right now? What are agents craving clarity on?
I think it depends on where you are in your career, right? New folks are always going to know, how can I get clients? And they're especially I say the younger agents, even though I still feel like a young agent, I'm 46, but the under 40s, the under 30s, they're like, how do I get clients without being embarrassing? Right. And I remember feeling that way when I got licensed in 2005. I don't want to be an agent. I want to be a cool agent, right? You want to get clients and you want to do it in a way that feels really good. And that's the conversation with new folks. With more experienced folks, a lot of the time the conversation is around, I'm getting business, but I can't predict when and how it comes. How do I make it more predictable, and how do I attract better quality clients? And then you have that very successful agent who is probably busy, making lots of money, and can't quite figure out how to take a vacation without their phone or their laptop, or they're starting to think about retirement and they do not understand that transition process. So there's it depends on where you are in your career, but I think everybody kind of has the same types of questions.
Do you work with a lot of agents looking on that retirement plan?
I do. I believe really strongly that you shouldn't ask people to help you with something that they haven't done themselves. And I'm fascinated by, my dream is to start a podcast about this topic because I'm consumed by it. I want to quit real estate someday, and I don't understand how. I don't see a lot of good role models for that. I feel like we just hold on until the day we draw our last breath. We're still doing deals. And but I know coaches and consultants who specialize in this, who broker, the sale of businesses between agents. And so I just kind of refer to other experts when people have that. But when people are talking about the referral business model as a possibility for how they transition out, that I definitely can share about. But
Okay.
yeah, I haven't quit, so don't ask me how to quit yet. I'm trying to figure it
You've been
out.
thinking about it. For
I think about it
10
all the time.
years. It's been at least a decade you've making the plan.
true.
I know somewhere you have written things down and you are working on that simultaneously with.
It's a dream.
It is. So, okay. So we're in that time of year where brokers are deep in business planning. It's almost Thanksgiving, end of November. They should have started by now if they're not done. But from your vantage point, what do you think agents must be thinking about as they look into 2026 planning?
2026 in particular.
Well, I do know that you go beyond that in your classes, but for people who are wanting to get on a more regular, consistent schedule of business planning. Stick with 1 year.
The way that I'm thinking about 2026 in particular for business planning is we have some wild cards, right? There's social and political upheaval. There is economic uncertainty, and there's AI. These are three very disruptive forces that are happening that you can't plan for, right? Like they're just going to come. Like something's going to happen on the news and it's going to be weird to post anything for 2 or 3 days. I can pretty much guarantee you that is going to happen this year, right? It always does. The economists are reassuring us, but also like everything is very weird with the economy. So predicting exactly what is going to happen as far as your business flow is probably not easy. So, and then with AI, figuring out exactly how those tools are going to help us and disrupt us. I mean, anybody who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen this year, they're just lying to you, right? We do not know. So what you have to do is create enough capacity in your schedule, create enough room that you can stay educated, that you have the time to be like in flow and like really connecting with your clients and your colleagues, right? Like, and also like, I think it's important to save money. Right. You know, I survived 2008. I know you survived 2008. I carry some trauma from that time. And I think in 2026, like, you know, the owner of my company told me, like, don't you dare take on any debt right now. Like, pay off your bills. Like, this is a time to like be ready, and not just be ready in case something bad happens, but be ready to take advantage of the opportunities that sometimes these quick shifts can create for us.
Yeah. I think about that a lot. And you mentioned that we were around in 2008. So to give context, when were you first licensed?
2005.
Okay. I think it's important for anybody listening to this that you're not just jumping in. You're not a talking head that comes from a background of marketing. Like you have built all of this up, trial and error, started with postcards. Did you ever door knock?
Oh, no. But I'm a postcard girly. I love a postcard.
You do love a postcard. I wish we could do some visuals. Maybe as a follow-up to this, maybe you can post the image.
Sure.
Do like a little spread of the original Marguerite.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, tell the audience what your first tagline was.
Well, I was, before we had the social medias, it was difficult to stand out when all you had was like print and brochures and billboards and things like that. So my thing was I was the skydiving agent, and that was how I stood out.
Your little logo had the
little parachute on it. You know, it was very cutesy back in the day.
Cute.
Loving where you live and having the confidence in your home is at the very heart of the Sterling Inspection Group. We are happy to support the Around the Block podcast for community members and real estate professionals. From the sewer line to the roof and attic and all those places in between, we have you covered. Call 253-841-1128 for your home inspection and let us help you care for your home.
So this leads me to my next direction. It's a little off topic of where we were going, but agents now are pressured more than ever to do and say things on social media to try to stand out. There's a lot of, with TikTok and making these videos, hoping to go viral or for all the reasons that we do things. I've done some things, somebody talked me into doing a TikTok to make fun of myself about being a Gen Xer. It was fun, but I see that sometimes people cross lines, and you pay a lot of attention to what's going on, and you've also been very outspoken. You've put your foot in your mouth.
Absolutely.
You and I have a podcast where we had to talk about our friendship. Like, were we actually going to be friends? And what tough conversations you've had. And you also had another podcast episode that you were a guest on where you had said some things that you weren't happy about that you said. You were called out about it. Our industry is very unique. We don't have the guiding, or you don't have a boss. We're all self-employed.
Yep.
Your brokerages work for you in some sense. There's some rules. Some places have standards of practices. Some of us don't have the code of ethics to follow because we're not all realtors. Let's talk about that a little bit. What bothers you, or what do you think is really great?
I think there's kind of two parts to this question.
Okay.
The first was like where you were saying, how do we know like what to post online and maybe how silly to be or how politically outspoken to be, right? We're getting a lot of different advice. Every marketer that talks to realtors is going to have different advice about what you should post online. And to what I would say is, this is why having a niche is so important. Like, first of all, knowing your business values, knowing your values as an individual, and then what your business stands for is important. Selecting a group of people that you want to serve better than anyone else in your market. When you're making content for a specific niche, it becomes very clear what you need to say. When you're rooted in your values and you're expressing your values, it's going to be very clear what kind of content you make. Just as an aside, I just always think making content for other realtors is dumb. Unless you own a real estate office, you're exempted from this narrative.
Thank you.
Like, I think a lot of us look at views as the measure, and we're copying things that go viral, and really like conversion on a lot of the things that I've like, when I get clients from something, it's not necessarily the thing that got the most views. It's the thing that made somebody trust me and feel like they could send me a private message, right? We're not getting brand deals as realtors. A commission is way more than a brand deal on somebody with 100,000 followers as Instagram, right? Like, it's just a completely different game. So be very careful about who you're copying and keep your ideal customer in mind. That's the first one.
Thank you.
The second one about running my mouth on the internet and other people who run their mouths on the internet. I think if you're going to speak out, you have to be ready to make mistakes. And I think the part that we all don't have very much practice with is getting feedback. Like being able to hear when people have legitimate complaints. And I see people all the time say things like, well, I just delete any comments that I don't like. And, you know, I started a website called Move to Tacoma at a time that prices were doubling in our community. And I got a lot of heat, and it really hurt my feelings.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was for years. It was really difficult because I was like, don't people see that I'm trying to do something helpful and nice? And people were like, actually, the impact of some of the things you're doing are not helpful or nice. And that's not easy to hear. And there are a lot of people that tell me, don't worry about it, just do your thing. You're great. And I could listen to them, or I could try to grow from the experience. And I don't agree with every person who says something zesty in the comments of things that I make, but I do try to consider it, and I do try to listen. And I have absolutely changed my mind about things and grown from it. Now, do I think that's what's happening every time somebody says something incendiary on the internet or does something out of step? No, I think you also have to be ready. Like, the internet is a ruthless place when you step out of line. Like, your company can get a lot of heat. Your comment section, your pages, your clients' listings can get a lot of heat. I don't have listings, which has been kind of nice, you know? Maybe consider, you know, there's more to consider than just your own perspective.
Yeah.
That said, I would never tell anybody not to say what's on their mind. Just be ready to
deal with whatever that blowback is.
That's grown-up stuff. That's grown-up business person stuff.
Yeah. That makes me think of, we have a section in the Code of Ethics 10-5 that says there's certain things we shouldn't do as a code of ethics. And I find, I'll give you an example. Some videos were sent to me a couple years ago that in my mind were clear violations of fair housing. And they were sent to me at a time I was first becoming president or was incoming president. And I had to really think about it. What measures do we have in place actually to help people not do stuff that's beyond cringy? It's just wrong. You're making fun of people. You're talking negatively about neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And in our industry, it's so interesting because from the as president of the association, realistically, the association doesn't have tools in place to police their members.
Yeah.
And owners, I mean, you had said something recently. There was a post that got a lot of attention, and you had said there's no offices that you are aware of that actually has a policy against that. And it made me think like, well, I have an anti-harassment policy, but it's anti-harassment within the office. And what does it mean? So if one of my agents did something that I didn't like publicly, what do I have for that? So what are your thoughts around that? I know I just vomited a bunch.
This could be a topic for an entire episode. Like I do have a lot of thoughts about this, but just to be a little bit concise, I think the trick is our clients love it. They love it. They love it when we steer. They don't say it like this, but like I know that's a controversial thing to say, and I wish I had more time to explain it. But the truth is our clients don't understand how fair housing works and what the standard is. And when you violate fair housing in your marketing and your promotion, and you make jokes about neighborhoods, or you say one neighborhood is better than another, or you should move here, or you shouldn't move here, or you show videos that make one city look bad, and then you show videos that make another city look good, you will get clients. You will 100% get clients. You will convert clients. Clients love that kind of content. That's what they're looking for. And so when you have one agent that does that, and you have another agent that's trying to follow the rules, and those clients call that person and they say, why don't you explain this? It can, the difficulty for me as a content creator that tries to adhere to fair housing standards is that the clients can interpret it as being untrustworthy. Why won't you just tell me the truth? Right? And so this is just a difficulty of navigating fair housing in 2025, 2026 at a time when, you know, at the nationwide level, it's not necessarily being firmed up, clarified, supported, funded, right? We're kind of expected to prop up fair housing in one individual at a time. Like to me, I attended the Fair Housing Conference that TAPCAR put on in April, and that was really the message was like, we are kind of individually responsible for that right now, especially within the real estate where it's very difficult to prove a violation, right? So, I mean, again, I'd love a longer conversation about that because I have a lot of hot takes, but that's the biggest one is we are individual. Like you should do the right thing because it's the right thing. And unfortunately at this time, when your peers don't do the right thing, they're going to make more money. And I'm not sure what we can do about that.
That's fair.
Is that okay? Was that too
No,
hot for TAPCAR?
I think that is fair, and it's a topic that we don't have public facing.
Yeah.
Because realistically, people will see something like, I don't know if I would have done that, and then I'm sure owners see it. I don't know if I want that attached to my company. So maybe you will do an episode somewhere else. Feel free to contact me if you'd like to continue this conversation.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah. So let's go back to, you do talk a lot about attracting clients and specifically that bring you joy.
Yes.
What does that look like in practice when someone's building a plan and not just chasing tactics, kind of like what we're talking about?
I think first of all, I think that every agent working deserves to have a steady stream of clients that they love, that they have expertise and that they can service really well, and that they can attract those clients using prospecting methods that they enjoy, that feel good to them, right? I mean, there's some stuff like, look, you were my manager some time ago, and you had to sit me down and put some headphones on and not let me talk to somebody so I could finally, after 13 years, put my sphere of influence into a spreadsheet, right?
That was Power Hour, by the way.
Power Hour,
Right.
Amazing. But this is the thing, that's something that is not probably fun for anyone. Right? Some people have an easier time doing it. Some people have to be chained to their desk. Other stuff, some people prefer a door knock. Some people prefer, I would rather make 1,000 YouTube videos than hold an open house, right? We are all different and special and allowed to enjoy prospecting in the way that we enjoy. And they all work. All these methods, that's the longer you're in real estate, the more you realize there really is no right and wrong way. But what are you willing to consistently implement for 12 months or more? That's the real question. And that's where I see a lot of agents getting pulled in different directions before anything can actually come to fruition. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the flip side, what concerns you about what you see out in the market? What direction or trends should brokers be paying closer attention to?
I think we need to be very mindful about how we're using AI. I think there's a lot of classes, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say this with love. There's a lot of office owners and managers that they themselves have not necessarily schooled themselves up on AI, and they're letting trainers into the company to teach us tools that they don't understand. And that is risky. And so I would just say we all need to be taking time to learn about AI for ourselves through the lens of our own ethics and the lens of our own business approach, so we don't accidentally do something that we regret. The other thing I would say about AI is I think I'm not like a Luddite. I don't think that we shouldn't use AI tools. I use all kinds of AI tools, but there's a peer-reviewed study. It's called like the transparency trap or something. If you Google it, send me an email at theskydivingagent@gmail.com and I'll send you a link to the study. But what it showed was that if people think you used AI, if you used AI and they can tell, they punish you for it. They think of you as less intelligent or less professional, even if they themselves use AI and hide it. Right. And so hiding AI is you need to not. I'm just going to speak for myself. I am using AI and I am editing it and I'm being very careful. I'm not being obvious about it and I'm not bragging about it because I don't think that's wise. And I also think making sure that you're using tools that automate your tasks and make things quicker versus replacing your interactions with clients. Tools that text your clients happy birthday or write a note card to them. That's messed up. That's not going to help you in the long run. Once clients figure out that there's an AI agent that can negotiate a transaction better than a human being, right? Like you better make sure you have some kind of value beyond the tools. The tools need to be making you better, not replacing your labor.
Absolutely. That could be a whole other
That's a whole
topic
episode.
as well. And, there's a lot of agents who are having philosophical feelings about how AI is coming into the industry.
Yes.
It's either super exciting or there's some people who are absolutely turned off by it. And I'm interested
I feel like I am both of those people at the
Right.
same time.
Yeah.
Because I think I see the existential threat. And I think if you're a thinking person, you have to be able to see it. And also, I'm a business lady and I want to make money. So I don't know.
Be efficient.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay educated. That's the only thing I can think to do is to use the tools, to understand them, to read the articles, and to try to make decisions and think for myself.
I love that. I'm always fascinated about your website. You built a whole website and a concept before that was even talked about in real estate, which is fantastic. And Move to Tacoma has become a huge resource. I hear people all the time. I even will talk to people. Did you find such and such because of, and a lot of times I'm hearing yes.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
I've heard other offices who are taking a look at how their individual websites perform, and yours frequently beats out other large companies locally.
And I'm just like one person with an old
you're
budget.
doing a
Y'all
good
are
job.
gonna go look at this website that's 10 years old and like limping along on its last grandmotherly legs.
People
like
use it.
Yes.
People use it.
I wish I had like a big brokerage budget to run my website. Look out if I ever get
Right.
one.
So your resources are even beyond the city. You're going on the train, beautiful images. It's really fun. It's like almost like what are those shows called? Real life TV? What is that called?
Reality TV.
There you go. I need to eat, okay? I'm hungry. You said you had 2 cookies. We need to eat after this. Okay. What lessons have you learned from running that platform that most realtors overlook about building trust with an audience? You talked about the AI piece, so that, but just from the concept.
Yeah, I think back to having some values and having an ideal client in mind that I'm serving. What are the questions that they have? What are the concerns that they have? What are the fears that they have? What are they imagining is going to happen when they move? I want my content to get in front of those people. And in the olden days, it used to be someone's moving to Tacoma and they're typing, moving to Tacoma, Tacoma neighborhoods, good neighborhoods in Tacoma, good schools in Tacoma, all the things that people start typing, craftsman homes in Tacoma. They're going to start Googling those things, right? And you just want to be seen over and over and over again. But these days, the number of real estate agents that have the time and the resources to chase that stuff, it's huge. So you've got to get smaller. I mean, if people take nothing else from me today, I recognize that I'm talking to a pool of my direct competitors, but the truth is we've all got to get a little bit nichier if you want to actually have conversion and not just views.
Oh, there's more agents than there are transactions.
I don't worry.
I know you don't. And you're not transacting, so you're never going to worry. Let's see. I feel like there's so many directions we can go, and we're definitely running out of time. So where can agents plug into your classes? Do you do coaching? Are there future offerings that you want to share? is there anything new you're working on for 26 that you're excited about?
Yes. I mean, like, I'm always doing classes. I'm always doing like one-on-one stuff. And obviously running Move to Tacoma is the main focus. So you can always find me at movetotacoma.com, Move to Tacoma on Instagram, Marguerite Martin Official on Instagram. I got a website, margueritemartin.com. Just Google me. If I'm doing my job, I'm going to be very easy to find. And you're going to be able to find all my things.
Such a Virgo thing to say.
Yeah.
Just Google me.
Just Google me.
And I will say, if anybody does want to reach out to you, that you will push people to their limits and explore their boundaries, because I will tell you from personal experience, my first batch of videos on YouTube, there was one point where I was ready to kick the camera over, tackle the videographer,
Tears
and
were
run out of
shed.
the house.
Tears were shed. Look.
And you pushed me, and now look.
I like to make people excellent. I have been to coaching school since that happened, Jasmine. I have spent a year in a British coaching school, and I have learned how to be nice.
You were mean. It was just like, meh.
I have a gentler touch now.
That's good. So I just want to thank you for taking time. Welcome back to being in Tacoma, even though your heart's always been here.
Thank you.
I think you give a fresh perspective to a very old industry, and it's important for us to take our craft as serious as you do, and I think you do a good job leading in that space. So thank you very much for that.
Wow, thank you, Jasmine.
Yes. So that is going to round it out for us. We're going to probably go get some Thai food after this because we're both hungry.
That sounds great.
Max did bring us water. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Max.
But this has been another episode of Around the Block, brought to you by Tacoma-Pierce County Association of Realtors and sponsored by Sterling Inspection Group. And a special thank you to Sterling for supporting the conversations that elevate our industry and deepen our professionalism. A huge thank you to Marguerite Martin for sharing her insights, expertise, and the unique lens she brings to the work of helping brokers build meaningful, market-specific, referral-driven businesses. Her commitment to authenticity, community, and thoughtful growth is a powerful reminder of what is possible when realtors lead with clarity and purpose. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with colleagues, and stay tuned for more conversations designed to support your business and strengthen the realtor community here in Pierce County. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay, jazz hands.